All right, here we go. Greetings, folks. This is Volt, continuing my solo Gavriella Mizrah playthrough of the Circle Undone through the Mythos Busters campaign play-along. We're at scenario 5 of 8, the midway point of the campaign, for the greater good. Let's take a look at our deck upgrades, or upgrade. We had 4 points going into this scenario. I banked 1 and spent 3 on a copy of the Star. Gavriella finally has a tarot card, which will boost all of her assets with health and sanity by +1 each. So Alice Luxley will be 3 and 3. Guard dogs will be 4 and 2. Trench armor will have 4 health. And flesh wards will have 2 health, 2 sanity. Since our game plan revolves around getting punched in the face and getting clues for our troubles, I expect that this will be very helpful for our longevity going forward. I'm dropping 1 Tennessee Sour Mash, a fine card. I will probably swap this back in by way of its level 3 survivor bigger brother with more liquor and cheaper, and an evade effect tacked onto its fight. But I'm dropping it in this scenario because there are precious few willpower tests for it to be worthwhile. There's Centuries of Secrets, and I think that's it. So not useful here. We're going to delete it. We're going to put in the Star in our deck, shuffle that up. Our tarot card is the Empress Reversed. During the first agility test each investigator performs each round, they get -1 agility. So I've marked Gavriella's agility as 0, since I don't expect to be taking many, if at all, any agility tests, and very likely not more than 1 per round. Indeed, the only way that I'd be taking an agility test, since Gavriella's base foot is 1, is if I really needed to evade something, maybe to get all the doom off of it, and if I were boosted with Trial by Fire to bring Gavriella's agility up to a base 5 or 7. Will that happen? Kind of unlikely, but it is a possibility, so I'm mentioning it now. We've got Brown Jenkin and the Meddlesome Familiar cards that summon him. Shuffle those into the encounter deck since we took the contract where he shows up in every scenario. Let's move the tarot card over here. We've got For the Greater Good set up. We are enemies of the lodge, so we are infiltrating. We've got the members-only versions of these locations. Let's see what our opening hand is, shall we? Shuffle this up. Draw 5. Well, we got the Star. That's good. We got Alice Luxley, who is maybe our most important ally, since she allows us to get punched by an enemy, pick up a clue, and then Alice does a damage back to them. And we've got 2 Trials by Fire plus an Act of Desperation. We're going to keep 1. This is a way to get in at the start, and you'll see why in a moment. I will put back the second one and an Act of Desperation. What do we get? Steadfast and Guts. Well, that's 6-1 does the other. Guts is almost a dead draw. If I get Centuries of Secrets, I may throw it at that. Steadfast is at least also a big fist test. What I really want are some of my other key assets, but I'm happy to get the Star and Alice Luxley and a Trial by Fire to start, and you'll see why in a moment. We have a Doom track of 8 on the first of 2 agendas, and our goal is to get and spend 2 clues. But here at the Lodge Gates, there's 2 Shroud, 1 clue. Enemies can't spawn here. This is why I wanted Trial by Fire at the start. Since I can't spawn an enemy here, I can't do my usual trick of getting a clue by letting an enemy attack me. They're not going to spawn here. Now, theoretically, one could spawn in here that moves, and it could move in, but it's much simpler to use Trial by Fire, bring my intellect up to 7, and actually just investigate and pick up the clue. So we will probably do that. Might do it this round. There's not much of a reason not to. Now, Alice Luxley does bring up my book to... Now, that's interesting, though. Actually, I could just commit Trial by Fire. Because with Alice, instead of paying 2 resources on it, because Alice will boost our book up to 3, and if I commit Trial by Fire, 2 question marks, then I'm testing 5 on 2, and that covers most of the bag. It is a less sure thing than going up to 7. It doesn't cover the -4, but it also saves me 2 resources, which is meaningful. So let's put the Star in play. Since it was in our opening hand, we get to do that without spending any resources or an action. we will, first action, play Alice Luxley. So our book is boosted up by 1. She's got 2 health, 2 sanity, 3 because of the star. After you discover a clue, you can exhaust her to deal damage to an enemy at your location. Now we're going to investigate. We are 3 on 2. We'll commit trial by fire to make it 5 on 2. We passed exactly. Elder Thing is -3. We get this clue. Whoa, that's not what I wanted. There we go. Trial by fire did its job. And now we will spend an action and that clue to reveal the lodge cellar, since that's the only way you can get in. Come on. There we go. And lodge cellar is revealed. 3 shroud, 0 clues, no special text. Okay, good. We took care of that. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into an act of desperation. Well, I got nothing to throw. That'll probably change. Mythos, we're 1 of 8. Shuffle the encounter deck. What do we get? Call to order. Find the 2 topmost cultist enemies in the encounter discard pile. Spawn them in the empty location with the most remaining clues. If none are spawned, this gains surge. There's nothing in the discard pile, so there's nothing to spawn, so it does indeed surge. Expulsion. If there are no cultist enemies in play, this gains surge. Okay. We'll see, look closer at that if it ever fires, but that surges into Mysterious Chanting. Place 2 Doom in the nearest cultist. If there are none, search the deck and discard for a cultist enemy and draw it. There we go. So, our options are good old bog standard Acolyte, which is probably what we're going to take, but I want to show the others. We, of course, have the Wizard of the Order, since we've got the Dark Cult set. We also have the Cell Keeper. Now, the Cell Keeper is intriguing because he comes out with one of the 4 random keys that we're chasing after in this whole scenario. So, pulling him out by way of Mysterious Chanting is an interesting play. But I don't want to do that now because we're not ready to handle him. I really need a weapon first, whereas a basic Acolyte, Alice Luxley can take care of as long as I spawn them in an area with a clue, which is exactly what I'm going to do. We're going to put this one at the lobby, which I know will have a clue and one of the 4 keys. Okay. Good. Fine. So indeed, let's go to the lobby and have ourselves an Acolyte-shaped snack. Action 1, move to the lodge cellar. Action 2, we move to the lobby. Acolyte engages. 3 shroud, 1 clue. After the lobby is revealed, place 1 random set-aside key on it. We've got the 4 keys here. We're going to shuffle these up and see what we get. It is the skull key. Okay. The skull key, of the 4 keys, skull, cultist, tablet, and elder thing. The cultist and tablet are most important because there's one location you need the cultist key to enter, and there's another location you need the tablet key to enter. Excuse me, not the tablet. I misspoke. The cultist and the elder thing are the ones that let you get into 2 specific locations. The tablet is least helpful, at least for Gavriella. It will reduce the shroud of one other location from 6 to 3, which is a big reduction, but that shroud is not how we're going to be getting the clue in that location. So I don't really need the tablet key. And if at the end of the day I decide to go for defeating the summoned beast that emerges from the puzzle box, instead of getting the puzzle box itself, which I might do because defeating the summoned beast gives you 2 extra experience you don't otherwise get, then leaving the tablet key as the 1 key I don't pick up is probably the best play. The skull key is meaningful because there's one particularly hateful location, which is an important one. It's got victory 2, so you want to get there and you want the clues. But if you hang out in there, then you and all your assets each keep taking direct horror at the end of every round. Direct horror, of course, bad for Gavriella. But if you have the skull key, that effect doesn't bother you. So, that's a very long-winded way of saying, I want this key. So last action, I'm going to trigger an attack. If I move, then I won't have a window to pick up the key after I get the clue. So I think what I'm just going to do is my third action, I'm going to draw a card. The Acolyte attacks me, deals Gavriella a damage. We use Gavriella's ability, which is a reminder, after an enemy attacks you, even if the attack was canceled, discover a clue at your location, limit once per round. So now we just get this clue. And then we can use Alice Luxley. After you discover a clue, exhaust her, deal damage to an enemy at your location. And now this Acolyte is dead. And now we do what we spent an action to do in the first place, which was draw a card. Alice Luxley's twin sister, Alice Luxley. All right, well, whatever. It's fine. All right, no enemies on the board. We upkeep into Enchanted Blade. And it's not the Mauser Tankaver, but it is a weapon. For now, we'll take it. Pardon the interruption. All right. Right, that was our upkeep. Mythos. We're at 2 of 8 Doom. Let's see what we get. Brown Jenkin, my buddy! Meddlesome Familiar summons him up, and I take a damage. We'll put that damage on Alice. She can take 3 and 3. Let's pull out Brown Jenkin. Brown Jenkin, of course, is aloof. Yeah, that's fine. He's not... His health isn't boosted by... because he's not on the secret name. So he's only 1 health. Which does mean Alice Luxley can defeat him. But he's also kind of a draw engine. Because right now, most of these cards, not very helpful. I don't need these. I'll play the Enchanted Blade. But then, I took the damage, yes. So I'm going to let Brown Jenkin wheel my hand to dig deeper into my deck. And then when I'm ready, he'll be defeated. But first, let's pick up this key, because there's no clues here. This does not take an action. And let's play the Enchanted Blade. So we do have a weapon on tap. Let's play it. I'm trying to superimpose it over both. Oh my goodness. Hold on. Let's try that again. Trying to... There we go. Since it takes up both a hand slot and an arcane slot, I like to superimpose it over both. Right. That was first action. Second action, let's move down to the lounge. 2 shroud, 2 clues. After the lounge is revealed, put the vault and library locations into play. Put August Linkfist asset into play here, and put a random set-aside key on him. August Linkfist and the locations. And the locations we need here are the vault and the library. Okay. Vault, library, August Linkfist. Here, put range it thusly. And August Linkfist gets a key. Which one is it? The cultist key. All right, that's important. So we're going to be making a deal. He's an asset, so he's not going to fight us. I can spend an action and 2 clues in his location to parlay. I'll take a damage or a horror, and then I'll get his key. So I need at least 1 more clue to accomplish that. But there are clues here that will help me do that. We also have the library and the vault. The vault is the locked one. You need the Elder Thing key to get it. And the library, I can just go into at any time. These are both worth a victory point, and the vault will have another key. But I can't get in there yet. Okay. I have 1 more action. So I can't enter the vault. I could move on to the library. If I do that, Brown Jenkin will follow just to the lounge, and he won't get any farther than that. If I stay here in the lounge, Brown Jenkins will move in and wheel my hand this round. I do want him to wheel my hand, but I also want to get to the library since it's a victory point, and the clues here in the lounge are not victory points. So they're they are lower priority. That's what I'm trying to say. So I think I am going to move on to the library. Brown Jenkins will follow. And then if no enemies show up, next round, I may just stay in the library, draw some cards, maybe play something if I get a card worth playing, and then let Brown Jenkins move in and wheel my hand in the library. Then the following turn, I'll engage him, move out. He'll hit me. I'll pick up the clue in the library. Alice Huxley will defeat him. And then I can parlay with August Linkfist. I think that's the play. So we're going to move one more time to go to the library. Shroud 6, 1 clue, victory 1. When you're investigating here, if you have the tablet key, this gets -3 shroud. That's not how we're going to get this clue. Okay. Come on. Enemies. Brown Jenkins follows us. And we upkeep. What do we get? A dodge. And not bad. But I don't mind wheeling that. Okay. Mythos. 3 of 8 doom. Beneath the lodge. Oof. This one hurts. This is one that I was this is a threat. So if you control a key, it gets +1 difficulty and peril. It's one of those rare book tests. So test book 3. Since I have a key, it's book 4. For each point I fail by, I have to either lose a clue or take a horror. Now, Alice Luxley can soak some, certainly. And I do have spare Alice Luxley. But I have no... I could commit, actually. Yeah, I'm not going to... If I biff this entirely, is it worth my committing one to this? Might be, actually. You know what? Yes, we're going to commit spare Alice Luxley, so we're testing 4-on-4 for this test. And because of that, we pass. Thank you, Twin Alice Luxley. You're a brain saver. Okay. All right, but like I said, now. Let's think. Do I draw or do I just take resources? What I'm concerned about is if I draw and get my Mauser Tankovan, right? Which I absolutely will want to play. That costs 4. I then wouldn't have enough actions to get resources and play it before Brown Jenkins moves in and wheels it. If I do draw the Mauser, though, I could move out of the library and engage Brown Jenkins in the lounge, and then he'll die, and I won't have wheeled it, but I also won't have... I'll have wasted a bunch of actions moving back and forth. I think I am better off, because I don't want to draw into the Mauser and not be able to play it. This may sound silly, but I'm going to take 3 resource actions. Low impact turn, but it's because I'm leveraging Brown Jenkins to move in and effectively give me a draw 4, because I don't need these cards. So there we go. Enemies. Brown Jenkins moves in and does his thing. Just a reminder how he works. When the enemy phase ends, if he's ready, everyone in his location discards their hand and draws that many cards. So let's discard these 4. Draw 4. Well, we got the Tennessee Sour Mash that I said before is not helpful. We do have a Trial by Fire, which could be helpful. Second Act of Desperation. We have an On the Hunt. Okay. Okay. And we're that much closer to the assets we're looking for. So that's fine. We upkeep. What do we upkeep into? A Mauser Tangover. Ah, now we're cooking with firing things at people. Now, before I play it, I may want to leverage Act of Desperation to yeet this blade into someone's face so I get a refund for it. Which with On the Hunt I'll be able to do. Okay. Mythos. We're at 4 of 8. Now, I could use On the Hunt. Summon an enemy. Oh, here's I could use On the Hunt to summon the Cell Keeper. And then he'll spawn engaged with me instead of the other end of the map. Now, he has 3 health. I could... I could yeet the blade into his face for 2 damage. Then I could move. I could stab him with the blade, do 2 damage, and then move. Get the clue. What I'm wondering is whether I play On the Hunt now to get an enemy, or if not, and let the enemy that I'm using to get this clue be Brown Jenkins, because I can engage, I can move, it'll be an attack of opportunity, but then Alice will defeat him, and I'll get this clue. Then I'll be here with Linkfist. I can parlay him. The round after that, what? Engage, move, parlay. My only concern about summoning the Cell Keeper is that he does 2 horror. And my horror soaking capacity is not at its best at the moment. It would be better if I summoned him once the Mauser is online. I think I'm not going to use On the Hunt now. We'll use it later on. The other part of me is thinking, what if I draw the Cell Keeper normally? Then he will spawn way over here with 2 Doom on him. And I don't know. I don't think I'd be able to. Let me see. Be engage, move. I want to parlay. Move, move, move. No, that's not going to happen. Maybe I should. Maybe I should. I could just stab him twice with the blade, get my full value out of it, and then engage Brown Jenkins with my last action. And then Brown Jenkins attacks. I get the clue. Alice Luxley defeats him. You know what? Yes. I think that is the play. We're going to play On the Hunt, which lets me search the encounter deck for an enemy, spawn and engage with me instead of its normal spawn location, attach this to it and shuffle the deck, and then when I defeat the enemy, I gain 3 resources. Come here, Cell Keeper. Shuffle this up. Okay, now he comes into play with 2 Doom and a key. Now when I have Trial by Fire. I could do the evade. Huh. I didn't even think of that. Well, let's see what key he has. It's the Elder Thing key. This is the key I need to get into the vault. Huh. The reason to evade him is to make all of his doom go away. Otherwise, even if I defeat him normally, one doom will go in the agenda and I lose that round. I still want to kill him because I want the resources from On the Hunt. But I could evade him first. I could play Trial by Fire, bring my foot up to 7. I'd be testing at 6 because of the tarot card. It'll actually be relevant, but 6 on 2 seems fine. Even if I don't over-succeed and get control of the key, that's still fine. I could evade him. I could stab him once. Then I could... engage Brown Jenkin. Then Brown Jenkin will die to Alice. I'll get the clue here. This guy will ready and then re-engage me next round. And then I could defeat him next round. Yeah. This seems fine. This seems good and fine. So let's do it. I'm going to spend 2 to play Trial by Fire and raise our foot to 7. Because the tarot, it's at 6. We're going to try... Whoop. Gavriella is going to make an evade. We're going to evade this Cell Keeper. We're testing 6 against 2. We pass by... It's okay. We only pass by 1. So we don't get the key. But he is evaded. Which means the doom goes away. Okay. This is still attached to it. All right. Now, we'll attack him with the Enchanted Blade. We will empower the blade, so we're testing 6 against 3. 6 on 3. -3 is a pass, because we charged it. We do 2 damage. And last action, we will engage Brown Jenkin. Okay. Enemy phase. Brown Jenkin attacks. He does a damage and a horror. I'll put 1 horror on Gavriella just in case I pull an Elder Sign, which lets her heal a damage and a horror from herself. And I will put... I shouldn't have put this damage on Alice, given Centuries of Secrets is a thing. Put the damage on Gavriella as well. But the point is, I can then use her ability to get this clue. We got that victory point. Use Alice Luxley. I could either defeat Brown Jenkin, or I could do the last damage to the Cell Keeper. I'm going to do the last damage to the Cell Keeper, just in case we draw Mysterious Chanting. I don't want 2 more Doom to get plopped on that guy. We'll defeat Brown Jenkin next round. But yes, with this guy is defeated. So I get the Elder Thing key. This guy goes in the discard. Get out of there, random heart. And because of On the Hunt, I get 3 resources. Perfect. Let's go. Right. That was the enemy phase. So we upkeep into... We're haunted. Fine. Stats are all down. It's totally fine. Okay. Mythos. We're at 5 of 8 Doom. Mysteries of the Lodge. Place 1 Doom on the nearest cultist enemy. See, this is what I was worried about. Then it's boosted a whole bunch of ways, but there is no cultist enemy for Doom to get placed. Brown Jenkin is a lot of things, but he's not a cultist. So instead, this surges into Evil Past. All right. So hopefully this is a non-entity. This would slam me for 2 horror and test brain 3 if you succeed discarded, but only when the encounter deck runs out of cards. There are only a couple of mill effects in this scenario. There is Centuries of Secrets. And one of these, either the agenda or the act, can advance to mill 5 for the encounter deck. But still, in a single-player game, The likelihood, I'm hoping, although now that I look at this, because of Surge, we have gone through quite a few. I don't know. I still think the likelihood of this running out of cards is moderately low. Otherwise, I mean, we'll be able to see it coming. Right. Okay. So, because of Haunted, I'm only at fist 3. I could attack Brown Jenkin. I'd be 5 on 3. He is a creature, so he boosts himself. That's not great. I could Active Desperation now, and then I'd be throwing this blade at 6 on 3. That's much better, since there's multiple -3s in the bag. And then I could play the Mauser and move. I'll still be haunted, but I can deal with the haunting next round. Yes. I know there's charges left, but I want to get the Mauser on the table. So we're going to play Act of Desperation. We're going to yeet this Enchanted Blade. We're testing 6 against 3. -2 is a pass. We do 2 damage. Brown Jenkin is defeated. We get 3 resources because the Enchanted Blade was in our play area. Now we will spend 4 to play the Mauser Tank Gewehr M1918. Heck yeah, anti-tank rifle online. We're still haunted, but who cares? And then we will move. We will move back to the lounge. Parlaying August Linkfist is an action. We'll do that later. Okay, that's fine. No enemies. We upkeep. We have a Guts. That's not very helpful. 6 of 8 Doom. Our encounter card is Mark of the Order. All right, so we get dinged for having keys. And it's going to surge. Because we have the Skull Key, we take a damage. And because we have the Elder Thing Key, we lose 3 resources. That hurts. That hurts quite a bit. Damage, lose 3. All right, and it surges into Ancient Evils. Good old-fashioned, put a Doom on the agenda. All right. Fine. I'm pausing because the last key is going to spawn in the vault. The way this has gone, we've gotten all the keys over on this side. Then when I advance the act, Nathan Wick in the puzzle box will show up over here. If I have the puzzle box and all 4 keys together, then we conclude this scenario. And get the puzzle box. But then you're not getting the 2 experience for defeating the boss that can pop out of the puzzle box. This is all a long-winded way of thinking, do I want all the keys? I want to go to the vault because it's a victory point. But I don't think I want the key there. I need this key. Because this is to get into the area where Nathan Wick is located. All right. Anyway, we're going to spend 2 actions to discard Haunted, and 3rd action, we're going to move into the vault. We can do that because we have the Elder Thing key. 4 Shroud, 1 Clue, Victory 1. Put a random set-aside key on it. There's only 1 left, which is the Tablet key, which I'm probably not going to pick up. I want the clue, but I'm probably not going to take the key. All right. I also need to start getting my defensive cards. That's fine. Okay, good. No enemies on the board. We upkeep. Flesh Ward. That's good to see. Exactly one of the things I was talking about. Mythos. We're at 8. The agenda advances. Meeting of Minds. This is the mill I was talking about. Discard the top 5 cards in the encounter deck, and I have to draw a cultist enemy discarded this way. What do we get? Mysteries of the Lodge. Beneath the lodge, evil past, call to order. This bozo, Knight of the Inner Circle. So he spawns at a connected location. He spawns here in the lounge. 4 fight, 4 health, evade 2. Alert aloof hunter. When he enters my location or I enter his, I have to test agility 4, and if I fail, he engages. So he's going to move in and engage, and he is going to attack. But at least what he does is damage. And having 4 health, that is perfect for a Mauser blast. So, fine. We're at the second agenda. We have 10 turns to finish things out. Okay. But we do need to draw our encounter card, since we got that one off of the agenda flip. What is our encounter card? It's Ancient Evils. We're at 1 of 10 due. Fine. I think I'm just going to let this guy move in and hit me to get this clue. Then I'll blast him with the Mauser and move out next round. So, we're going to draw some cards. First action draw. Second flesh ward. Second action draw. Machete. I'm looking for trench armor. Third action, I will play one of the flesh wards. Sounds good. All right. Enemies. This guy moves in on me. I have to do this agility test to see if he engages me. We're testing 0 against 4. What are our chances? Could be an elder sign. It's not. So he engages. And then he attacks for 2 damage. I will exhaust Flesh Ward and spend a charge to cancel 1 of that damage. And the other damage, I will be able to put on Flesh Ward. Since with the star, it's got... Hold on. There we go. With the star, it's got 2 and 2. No reason not to. And when he attacks, I use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. I'm not going to pick up this key. I've made my decision. I'm not interested in the puzzle box. I'm more interested in 2 additional experience. I may as well use Alice Luxley to do a damage to the guy. Shouldn't matter, but no reason not to do it. All right. We upkeep into a take heart. Fine. I need more cards. 2 of 10 doom. What do we get? An acolyte. Any empty location comes out with a doom. I'll put him here. Empty means no investigators or enemies. August Linkvist's presence doesn't change anything about that. Okay. Now, we're going to blast this man in the face with our Mauser. Oh, we're no longer haunted. So we are testing 9 against 4. And we'll do 4 damage. Elder Sign. We heal a damage and a harm. Awesome. And we annihilate this man. You'll love to see it. Okay. There we go. Then we're going to move back to the lounge. The acolyte engages. And then we are going to ready the Mauser to reload it. That triggers an attack of opportunity from this acolyte who does a damage. We'll spend a charge on Flesh Ward to cancel it. Gavriella will use her... Come on! We'll use her ability to get one of these clues. And then Alice Luxley will do a damage back to defeat this acolyte. That is the Gavriella Mizrah gameplay loop. You'll love to see it. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into second take heart. Trench armor, please. I should be happy with the flesh wards. We should be good with those. 3 of 10 doom. Centuries of Secrets. His willpower 5. I mean, okay. Time for take heart. Which point you fail by, discard the top card of the encounter deck. If a Curse Treachery is discarded, deal 1 direct damage to your investigator and each of your ally assets. This is why I shouldn't have put a damage on Alice Luxley before. I don't know what I was thinking. But it's only your investigator and allies. It won't deal a damage to the flesh ward, which is good. 3 on 5. I mean, I could commit guts, but what I really want is to fail with take heart. If I commit guts and take heart, what are the chances of me summoning a 0? Actually pretty good, since the skulls are 0 right now because there's no doom on anything in play. And I really... Well, I guess if I do that, then I draw a card off the guts. Sure, let's confuse... Let's not tempt fate. We're going to confuse fate by committing a guts and a take heart into the same test. This is really dumb. We're testing 5 on 5. Here we go. It happened. We got a 0. So take heart doesn't fire, but guts does. Guard dog. Guard dog is good. And we passed the test. So, hooray. Guard dog is good. All right. I don't think we need this clue. One moment. Pardon the interruption. All right. Right, we just passed Centuries of Secrets against all odds. That's a different card. Do I care about this clue? Probably not. I will want to spend 2 clues to advance, but I don't have to do that yet. I'll do it when I'm ready. I do need August Lingvist's key. So, gimme. I'm going to spend an action and 2 clues to parley with this man. We have to take a damage or a horror. We will take a damage on Gavriella. That's fine. To get the cultist key. Seems good. And then he's removed from the game. Okay. Second action, let's play guard dog. And then third action, we will move. We'll start making our way to the other side of the map. There's more victory there. I will want the puzzle box. I want to defeat Nathan Wick, get the puzzle box. Then we're not going to bother getting this last key. I left it behind on purpose. I wanted to hatch and then to defeat the enemy inside of it. That is the plan. That is the play. Yes. Okay. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into second guard dog. Not bad. Mythos 4 of 10 doom. Mark of the Order. Well, I guess the fact that I don't have the tablet key means I don't have to discard cards, so that's good. But I do lose all my resources and take a damage and a horror. Flesh Ward doesn't work because it's not enemy attack, but I can put the horror on Flesh Ward because it does 2 and 2. Gavriella take the damage, and I will lose the resources. I want my Hallowed Mirror. Should come up soon. And that surges into Brown Jenkin, my buddy! Get back here, you dirty rat. I may leave you behind. I do take a damage. Damage is really ramping up. I'm saving it on Guard Dog because I want Guard Dog to be taking damage from attacks. And ditto for Alice Luxley. But Hallowed Mirror will show up. It'll show up. It'll show up eventually. Do I just move multiple times? I think I just move multiple times. So we're going to move twice. Once to the Lodge Cellar and once to the Lodge Catacombs. We just need to have at least one of the keys to get in here, and we have it. War Shroud, no clues. Put the set-aside Inner Sanctum and each of the set-aside Sanctum Doorway locations into play. So let's... Oh, that's not it. I'm purposely waiting to advance this until I am perfectly situated to leverage it. Oh, that's right. I already took out the locations. Silly me. They're over here. Sanctum Doorway, Inner Sanctum. Let's shuffle the Sanctum Doorways so I don't know which is which. All right. Now, the Inner Sanctum, you need the Cultist key to enter, which I have. I could go in there at this point. But I think first, actually, no, there isn't really a reason to not, is there? Yeah, that's fine. Let's go into the inner sanctum. 4 shroud, 1 clue. Once revealed, place a key on it. Well, I got none left to place. This will be more important momentarily, like next round. Okay. That was the investigation phase. Enemies, Brown Jenkin is following me. That's fine. We upkeep into. There's my hallowed mirror. Now I can start getting my healing online. Once I get the resources. Give me a test I can take heart, please. Mythos. We're at 5 of 10 doom. It's fine. The Wizard of the Order. So he's going to get a doom, and he's going to keep growing doom. I could put him here. What I was thinking of doing was advancing the act to summon Nathan Wick here, because this is where he shows up. Then I could shoot him with the Mauser. Move. He'll attack. I'll block it. And I'll get that clue and that victory point. Then I've got, though, this balloon head. Causing me problems. What's our doom at? 5 plus 1 is 6. If I leave him the Wizard of the Order another round, the next turn will be at 6 plus 1 is 7. Even if I get an Ancient Evils, will be at 8. I would still have time to go chase him down. He does damage. So Guard Dog will do what Guard Dog does. I don't want to lose Hallowed Mirror. Maybe I investigate, commit, take heart, purposely fail. Move 1 doom from the nearest cultist enemy to the current agenda. If I do that and pull the Elder thing, then his doom becomes permanent. Although the way this is worded, if I spawn Nathan Wick now, and then do a thing that I'll fail, like try to evade him, right? And if I pull the Elder thing then this says move 1 doom from the nearest cultist enemy to the current agenda. The nearest cultist enemy would then be Nathan Wick, because he'd be in the room with me, and he wouldn't have any doom on him. So I'm fairly sure that means that this just wouldn't do anything. It doesn't say move 1 doom from the nearest cultist enemy with doom on it. Maybe that's the play. Maybe I spend my clues to summon Nathan Wick. I try evading him with Take Heart to get 2 resources and 2 cards. Then I shoot him with the Mauser. That'll do 4 damage. Then I reload the Mauser. He'll do an attack of opportunity, which I'll block, and I'll get the clue. And then it'll be defeated by Alice Luxley. Get the puzzle box. Brown Jenkin will move down. Next round, I could move. Shoot the wizard. engage Brown Jenkin if I don't want to wheel my hand. I might want to wheel my hand. But yes, I think that's the play. I'm going to spend 2 clues to advance the act now. So, the Inner Sanctum is in play, as we're at it. Spawn the set-aside Nathan Wick. Master of Indoctrination side face up. Attach the puzzle box to him. We move on to Act 2, which will advance once Nathan Wick is added to the victory display by any means. So, let's pull this guy out. Nathan Wick. Puzzle box. Since we're here, he engages me. Master of Indoctrination. Fight 4, health 5, evade 3. Alert. After you evade him by 3 or more, you steal the puzzle box. That's not happening. But you know what is happening? Shooting the man. Alright, but first we're going to pretend evade. We're going to spend action. We're going to evade. We're going to commit, take heart. We're testing 0 against 3. This is exactly what I thought would happen. And he's the nearest cultist enemy, and he has no doom on him to move. So I draw 2 cards and get 2 resources. I've had worse and dodge. Okay, good. Yeah, this is good. This is good. This is good. So now we shoot this man for real with the Mauser. We are testing 9 against 4. Skull right now is... It should be -1. I don't know why it's not tracking Doom. I think something is slightly broken in TTS somehow. I may need to do like a fresh load. But it's not tracking this. It should be a -1. But we were 5 up, so, you know, 4 damage. Oh, I didn't mean to pull that. It's fine. Yeah. And now we'll spend an action to reload the Mauser. That triggers an attack of opportunity from Nathan Wick. I will... I'm kind of thinking I'm going to play I've Had Worse. Yeah. I'm going to play I've Had Worse to cancel the damage and horror, so I get 2 resources instead. But because of the attack, even though canceled, I get a clue. This clue. And then Alice Luxley deals another damage back to him, and he's off to the Hex Zone. So I take control of the puzzle box in advance. I quickly pry the device from his hands. Act 3. So if I had the puzzle box and all 4 keys, which I could have had right now, right? If I had picked up this key when I was here, I'd be done at this point. But I didn't, purposefully. Then this would advance and we would have a resolution. What I want is for the agenda to run out, which will then, the puzzle box will burst into a big enemy, and then I defeat said enemy for the 2 extra victory points. That is the plan. That is the play. All right. Enemies. Brown Jenkin moves down. Wizard of the Order hangs out chanting. We upkeep into an emergency cache. Mythos, we're at 6 + 1 is 7 of 10 Doom. Centuries of Secrets is willpower 5. I might as well commit this Tennessee Sour Mash into this to fail by a little less. I'm testing 4 against 5. -2. So we fail by 3. We mill the top 3 cards in the encounter deck. An Acolyte. Centuries of Secrets. So we do get hit with a direct damage. Knight of the Inner Circle. So Gavriella, Alice, and Guard Dog all take it damage. It's only Investigator and Allies, so Flesh Ward again is not hit. Not great, but Star is doing work. I Trench Armor, the last card in the deck. Oh, and then Doom gets added here. I mean, if I wanted, I could let this advance, but one of these locations has victory 2, and I want it. Speaking of, since one of them has victory 2, I could... No, I was thinking of moving, picking up the wizard, moving, he'll attack, like take a damage from guard dog, and then well, I guess it would work. Yeah, and then playing Hallowed Mirror. I should play Hallowed Mirror first. So if I do this, move, move, and then I play Hallowed Mirror, move, move. Then in the enemy phase, I can take attacks and I'll be able to get a clue. Brown Jenkin will move in and he will wheel my hand. I mean, I would rather keep the Flesh Ward, but I'm okay, I think, wheeling into... It'll be both of the Soothing Melodies that are going to get put into the deck. I'll lose one, but I'll get the other 2. And I'll get the Trench Armor. Or I can take it slower. I could move. I could... Let's fight 4. What we got here? And just let Guard Dog take him out. I've got a whole nother one to play. Move, engage. Yeah, move. Engage Brown Jenkin. And let my... The Guard Dog will be defeated, but I have another one waiting in the wing. Yeah, I think... Oh, yes. Yeah, we'll slow roll it a little bit. So we will move in to the catacombs. Wizard of the Order engages. We will play Hallowed Mirror. Wizard of the Order attacks, does a damage, which will go on Guard Dog, and Guard Dog will do a damage back to it. And we play Hallowed Mirror, we get a Soothing Melody, and the other 2 shuffle into the deck. Third action, we engage Brown Jenkin. That also triggers another attack of opportunity, which will again go on Guard Dog. Guard Dog does a damage back. This guy's defeated. Yes. That's fine. Enemy phase, Brown Jenkin attacks, does a damage and a horror. Both will go on Guard Dog, which will defeat it. But Guard Dog will do a damage back. Brown Jenkin is also defeated. Fine. Yes, good. I like it. I do need to be mindful. Evil Past is going to fire, but I'm going to have healing. That's this is fine. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep. Come on. We upkeep into Enchanted Blade. Trench Armor, last card in the deck. Seems like it. Mythos. We're at 7 of 10 Doom. And our encounter card is... We may never know. A locked door. I think way over here, the lounge is locked up now. Fine. Fine. Okay, let's get guard dog back online. Play second guard dog. Let's play Soothing Melody. And I will heal 2 to shuffle it back in. I will heal... Frankly, I'm going to heal both from Alice Luxley. And draw a card. Soothing Melody. Shuffle this back in. That was my second action. Do I do that again? No, I'm going to move. Ooh. We got to open one of these. One of them is the one I want. Let's try the middle one. That's not the one I want. Holding cells. 1 shroud, 1 clue. After revealed, search the deck and discard pile for a cultist and spawn it here. Shuffle the encounter deck. That's no big deal. We will summon up a bog standard acolyte from the discard. It is going to die on my guard dog, which is happening now in the enemy phase. Acolyte attacks, does it damage, does it to the guard dog bites back, Acolyte is dead. Use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. I actually could have canceled it with Flesh Ward and used Alice Luxley to do it. I didn't think of that. It's fine. No big deal. All right. No enemies. Upkeep. There's my trench armor. A little late. But you know what? We functioned without it. Like, the trench armor is excellent for what we're doing with this build, but we may do without it. Mythos. We're at 8 of 10 Doom, which is fine. I want this to run out, so I'm not concerned about timing here. Which is good, because that's an Ancient Evils. Now we're at 9. We can still get the last clues. So let's move to where we need to be. We're going to move twice. 1, 1, 2. The ceremony room. 3 shroud, 2 clues, victory 2. When the round ends, each investigator and each ally asset here would take a direct horror, but we cancel the effect because we have the skull key. You know, I would love to have an enemy here to pick up one of these clues. The summoned beast is now going to show up, and I can use it to get 1 clue. But I only have 1 book commit. I mean, I could attempt 4 on 3. It's a better than even chance by committing the Soothing Melody. I could go for it. Or I could just plan to take multiple attacks from the summoned beast. Like if I'm just fighting or trying to evade. Oh, but I think it is alert, isn't it? It might be alert. Well, you can always cancel. You know, just drop your action. Like discard them. It might not be alert. It might not be alert. Because if it shows up and I fight it with the Mauser, try to evade, it'll attack. I can do 1 damage back to it. I could actually kill it, but I don't have to choose to do so. Get 1 clue, then the next turn I would get the other clue, and I could finish it with Alice Luxley. In which case, maybe what I do is play the Soothing Melody. But I got 2 more coming up. What could wreck my day? Are all the Sentries of Secrets in here? They are. So that's not going to wreck my day. I'm going to go for the investigate. 50-50. I'm going to commit this soothing melody. This is probably a bad idea. 4 on 3. Let's do it. Skulls -1, because there's only... Well, 0. There's no doom on any enemies out here. We got a clue. Perfect. Nailed it. You'll love to see it. No enemies on the board. We upkeep? And I've had worse. We certainly have. Mythos, we're at 10. This advances. The greater good. Summon the summoned beast at the puzzle box location and remove the puzzle box from the game. Again, we could have cracked open the puzzle box. I am purposely choosing to end the scenario this way with the big fight instead. Summon beast, guardian of the trap. 5 fist, 6 health. 6 per player, where 1 player. 2 evade. Monster, Silver Twilight, Elite, Retaliate, and Hunter. Gets +1 fight, evade, damage, and horror for every 2 doom in play. That's quite a bit. It starts with 2 damage, 2 horror. And it just eats all humanoid enemies at its location. And eats up their doom. Once defeated, resolution 3. Let's do it. We still need an encounter card. What's it gonna be? A locked door. This location is locked. You know what? We're not planning to investigate. We're using the Gavriella way. That's what we're going to do. All right, good. First things first, shoot this thing. With the Mauser, we are testing 9 against 5. There is no doom in play, so it's not boosted. 9 on 5, let's do it. -3, that works. We have done 4 damage to it. And now, we finish it off by, I don't know, reloading the Mauser. So it attacks for 2 damage and 2 horror. We will put, we'll use Flesh Ward to cancel 1 horror. We'll put 1 horror and a damage on the guard dog. So the guard dog does a damage back. We'll put a damage on Alice Luxley. Then we use Gavriella's ability, because it attacked, to get... What am I doing? Tapping the location. To get this last clue. And then we use Alice Luxley to deal a damage to it. And it's in the hex zone. Resolution 3. 7 VP, clean sweep. Without trench armor, and with both my deck and the encounter deck down to 3 cards each. That felt good. Resolution 3. The beast that had emerged from the box was a vicious guardian, slaughtering anyone in its path. But it couldn't stand against an anti-tank gun. Many lodge members were gruesomely killed. It was out for like 5 seconds. What are you talking about, Resolution 3? The device is destroyed. That's true. We're not sure whether it broke as a result of the beast's emergence, or as a result of its death, or as the result of my shooting it with an anti-tank gun. That didn't work as planned, said the robed members of the Order. Hell of an understatement, it's a lost cause. For some reason, now we're going to the unvisited isle. What does this mean for the binding right? We don't get my favorite piece of text, which I'm just going to reference from Resolution 2 here. Which is, of course, what in the hell is an Azathoth? Still one of my favorites. All right. The Guardian of the Trap emerged and was defeated. Sure was. 7 victory. So we had 1 banked, so we're now at 8. Gotta think what we're going to spend it on. We skip the interlude. We proceed directly to Scenario 6, Union and Disillusion. That'll be the second half of this double feature, after I decide what upgrades are. So until then, take care. See you again momentarily. Here we go. All right, we're back. Time for Solo Gavriella versus Undimensioned and Unseen. That's not what it's called. Union and Disillusion. guess a certain recent Dutch Iron Man is still on my mind. Union and Disillusion, Scenario 6. Let's take a look at our upgrades. All right. We had 8 points, and I've spent them all. I have taken a second Charisma, and I've taken as my third ally, Greta Wagner, level 3. +1 Fist, +1 Book, a whopping 4 health and 2 sanity soak, which with the star in play is a monstrous 5 and 3. After you defeat an enemy, you can exhaust Greta and deal a damage to her to discover a clue at your location or a connecting location. And that or a connecting location flexibility, I am hoping will serve me in good stead in these last couple of scenarios of the campaign. Yes, we have a big old kit of assets to have in play to reach our maximum potential. So with my other 2 points, I'm upgrading one of my level 0 emergency caches to level 2. Adding that draw a card on it is not flashy, but it gets the job done in terms of an extra upgrade. And the other card that I'm dropping for Greta Wagner is my other level 0 Tennessee Sour Mash. I still keep thinking at some point I'm going to upgrade into the level 3 Survivor Tennessee Sour Mash, but it has just never yet felt like the key upgrade piece I need next. So I'm dropping it. I can always go for the Survivor one later on for one of these last 2 scenarios if that seems to make sense. So let's put our second Charisma over here. Shuffle Greta and the upgraded cache into our deck. Remove these. Let's have our slots where I like them to be. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Our tarot card this time is the High Priestess, upright. So, during the first book test each investigator performs each round, they get +1 book. That is actually likely going to be meaningful here. Especially if I can get both Alice and Greta in play. That gives me a 5-book investigate test each round. And some of these shroud locations are low enough that good old-fashioned book v shroud might still work for Gavriella, even with her base book of 2. So, to remind myself of that, I've got my book increased by 1 on the stat bar. I just need to keep in mind that I have that extra boost only for the first such test performed each round. Also helpful for circle tests, in which book may be a component. So let's move that over here. The circle tests themselves, some of them are going to be quite the challenge. Certainly anything that has agility as a component, I'm going to be relying on finding one of my 2 copies of Trial by Fire to get past that. Of course, Trial by Fire is also a great way to deal with the Circle 20 test at the end. Set all my stats to 5 before any other boosts, including this boost. So hopefully, if I can get one of those timely in hand, we'll be doing okay. Let's shuffle Brown Jenkin and his meddlesome familiar buddies into the encounter deck. We are against the Lodge, so the braziers start lit, and my goal is to unlight them. We've got Miskatonic River and Forbidding Shore. Let's shuffle the 6 unvisited isles and put 2 into play. Where am I going to arrange these? Let's do it like this. Okay, and we're going to put a lit brazier. I use the offering token for that on each of those. We'll move the rest of these out. The total number of locations that'll be in play in this scenario scales with player count. So in a single player run, there's only going to be one more unvisited isle put into play. So I'm going to have the first brazier, which is the easiest one to pass, and then 3 more that I'll need to unlight before I can reach the Geist Trap. So let's see how we're going to do. Since all of the prologue investigators, all their data is crossed off, we don't have to deal with any of that happening midway through. So yeah, let's just get to it. What's our opening hand? Well, we get the star at the very beginning. That's excellent. The Hollowed Mirror is another good starting card. We'll toss back Guts. We'll toss back Act of Desperation. Do I hang on to a Trial by Fire? That is a good question. I will need to get beyond the first location. I will need to successfully pass the first circle test, which is Willpower or intellect 3. I mean, trial by fire is a way to do that. To get value out of it, what I would want to do is have a turn with nothing that prevents me from playing it, passing a circle test, moving to another location, and immediately attempting, and hopefully, fingers crossed, passing another circle test. Now, if I send it back, then I'm increasing my likelihood of getting my key allies and or weapons and other defenses in play. Honestly, I am thinking, since you don't need to pass the circle tests early in the scenario, other than that first one, which is only difficulty 3, I think I'm going to send it back. I might regret this. I'd rather get these later in the scenario than have them in hand at the start. What I want is my other pieces of kit and or economy. We'll see if I regret this. 3 cards. Flesh Ward is a good defense, especially with the star online. On the Hunt will help me get some economy to start. I've had worse. There's also economy and damage soak. And this isn't bad. I still don't have a weapon or an ally. At this point, really, what I want is an ally. But we've got defenses. So we'll make do until an ally shows up. All right. Our starting location, Miskatonic River, 5 Shroud, no clues. You can spend an action to resign. We're not going to do that. We're going to try to win this scenario. And we get to immediately put the star into play. Thank you, tarot card. So, now the one thing I don't yet have is a good way to defeat an early enemy, since I don't have Alice Luxley or a guard dog. I'm thinking about on the hunting. Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. First action, we're going to spend 2 to play the Hollowed Mirror. Let's get our Soothing Melodies online. 1 in the hand, 2 in the deck. Third action, I am going to play Flesh Ward, so we have some defenses. The second action, rather. Third action, we do need to move, so we might as well do that. Forbidding Shore, 3 Shroud, 1 Clue. Spend an action to attempt the circle test to unlight the brazier. Haunted, you either lose an action or lose 2 resources. I cannot enter either of the other Unvisited Isle locations until I have unlit this brazier. That's why it's a stopping point at the beginning. Oh, also, we have an 8 track on the first of 2 agendas, 8 Doom track. And to advance the act, we need to spend 3 clues. There will be 2 clues each on each of the Unvisited Isle locations. So what I would need is this clue and 2 from one of the others. I could technically forgo this clue and get 2 from one and 1 from the other. Each of these is worth a victory point, so those clues are more important. But also, I am going to want every clue that I can get my grubby little hands on to cash in to make circle tests easier later in the scenario. Okay, that's our first turn. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into a machete. And at least it's a weapon. Okay, that's fine. I don't have the money to play it yet, but that's fine. Okay, Mythos. We're at 1 of 8 Doom. Do I play on the Hunt? Probably not, because I'm not really ready yet to kill anything. Well, I could pull out my buddy Brown Jenkin, right? Attach him to me. He has only 1 health. Do a thing that triggers an attack of opportunity to get the clue. I could cancel it with I've had worse to get resources, which I can then use to play machete. And then I'd be swinging, well, I'd be swinging 5 on 3, which is not bad, but it's not great. Skulls are -2. If this is a skill test during a circle action, you have to reveal a second token, which is bad. Elder things are -3. If this is during a circle action and you fail, resolve each haunted ability on your location. As long as I'm... Well, I was about to say, as long as I'm 3 up on my circle test, shouldn't be an issue, but the skulls can throw a wrench into that. I don't think... This do? Lose an action or lose 2 resources. Is there another enemy in the encounter deck that I would rather summon with On the Hunt? Oh, wait, no. Almost forgot. Because there is. One of the victory points in this scenario is lurking in the encounter deck. It is the Nether Mist. I want to save my On the Hunt until I'm ready to kill that. And I'm not yet ready to kill that. So that answers my question. I am not playing On the Hunt. I have a specific purpose for it. Now is not the time. We put a Doom in the agenda. Let's just draw normally. Let's make sure we shuffled. Yep. What's our encounter card? This is kind of exactly what I didn't want to see. Shadowhound is pretty brutal. Fight 2, health 3, evade 1, hunter and retaliate. After it attacks you, you have to resolve each haunted ability on your location. Obviously, a problem when the haunted ability is either lose an action or lose 2 resources. I don't want to lose either of those things. Am I... Am I just punching this 3 times? It has retaliate. So that's not super great. At least it just does damage. It doesn't do any horror. I think... Yeah, it feels bad, but I think I just have to punch punch this guy 3 times and hope to nail the 2 out of 3 chance. All right, well, let's do this. 4 on 2. 0's a pass, that's 1 damage. Do it again. -1's a pass, that's another damage. One more time. -2. All right. Took our whole turn, but we defeated that thing. Would I have liked to have gotten the clue with an attack? Sure, but not at the cost of my precious resource or actions. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into Enchanted Blade. I would rather play that than Machete, so that I can be able to swing at 6 for those couple of turns when I need to, before the Mauser Tankaver shows its face. So, fine. Mythos. Oh, wait. I just upkept. Mythos. 2 of 8. Again, I don't want to On the Hunt yet. I want to have... But once I have the Enchanted Blade in play, Nethermist has only 4 health and is fight 3. So with the blade, I swing at 6. I don't mind spending 2 charges on it to defeat the Nethermist, get my victory point, and get 3 resources from On the Hunting it. So, let's just draw a regular card. We have the Fate of All Fools. So this just comes into play. And whenever I draw another one, I either put a Doom on the one I've got, or I take 2 direct damage. Not so bad. All right. I could take a resource. I could play Enchanted Blade. I could do a thing. Is it worth committing cards I don't want to commit on the hunt. I don't want to commit I've had worse. Soothing Melody, I'd be testing 4 on 3. It's not great. I want more. I think I'm going to draw a card first, then take a resource, then play the blade. So let's draw a card. Dodge. That I might commit along with Soothing Melody to get past this circle test. But now we'll take a resource, and we'll play the Enchanted Blade. Okay. No enemies on the board. We upkeep. Trench Armor. Good. Glad to see that early, since it was at the bottom of my deck last scenario. All right, 3 of 8 Doom. Now we will play on the hunt, and I will yoink out the Nether Mist. Fight 3, health 4, evade 3. It spawns engaged with me because of On the Hunt's effect, so I don't have to deal with it being aloof. It does a damage and a horror. Its location gains haunted. Nether Mist attacks you. So I do think that I want to provoke an attack from it that I can, I've had worse, so that I can get this clue and then defeat it. I'd love to be able to play Trench Armor to trigger that attack of opportunity, but I don't have the resources for it yet. Do I just draw another card? Maybe. I still don't feel confident about passing the circle test. Maybe I should have kept that trial by fire, huh? Well, we'll see. Yes. So I am going to draw a card. That triggers an attack from this. Damage and a horror. I know I could Flesh Ward, but I would rather get resources. So I will play I've Had Worse to cancel the damage and horror and get 2 resources. And I use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. And now I draw this card. It's the second I've had worse. Fine. Now we attack with the blade. We are swinging 6 against 3. We're 3 up. Goes -2. This isn't a circle test, so we just pass and do 2 damage. I am spending a charge with the blade each time. And then attack again. 6 on 3. That's a -3. We pass. This guy's defeated. That's a victory point to the Hex Zone with you. And I get 3 resources from On the Hunt. Okay. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into an act of desperation. Good. Once I find the Mauser, I can yeet my blade into someone's face to get a refund. Perfect. Mythos, we're at 4 of 8. Yes, we're moving slowly. Sometimes that is just the way of the world. What's our encounter card? I hate life. Oh, my goodness. I mean, I can charge attack again, do 2 damage, finish it off with a stab, and then play Trench Armor. I don't love that. But this thing needs to die. So, yes, we're going to attack with, and we're going to use the charged blade one more time. So we're swinging 6 against 2. -2, so we do 2 damage. And then we just stab with the blade. Even without charges, you can still attack with it with +1 fist. You only do 1 damage, but hopefully that's all I'll need. 5 on 2. Elder Sign, we heal. We don't have any damage or horror yet. Oh well. This guy's defeated. And now we will play the Trench Armor. All right. Okay. No enemies. We upkeep. A Guts. Now we can finally do this circle test and actually get our show on the road. 5 of 8 Doom. It only took over half the first agenda. It's fine. Everything's fine. What's our encounter card? My buddy, Bronjenkin! I was wondering when you were going to show up. And the answer is now. Plus, I take a damage. That's fine. Normally, I would put it on Gavriella so that I have something to heal if I draw the Elder Sign again. But since there are treacheries that are worse, the more damage or horror are directly on you, I am looking to minimize that as much as possible. So I will slap that on the trench armor. With the star in play, it's got 4 damage soak. All right. So now the question is, do I want to wheel my hand? Or rather, let Brown Jenkins wheel my hand? And honestly, that answer might be yes. I think it's going to depend on what I get from, hopefully, passing this circle test. So let's do that first. We're going to attempt the circle test with Brain. We're testing 3 on 3. Guts makes it 5 on 3. Let's commit... let's commit Dodge to make it 6 on 3. Do we throw one more? Let's go for it. 6 on 3. -1. We pass. We have unlit this brazier. We draw a card from Guts. Another soothing melody. Okay. This is a lot of healing to let Brown Jenkins wheel away. But I want the Mauser Tanka there. And honestly, maybe more importantly, I want my allies. Because the options are, if I wanted to keep my hand, I could engage Brown Jenkins, and with my last action, I can move to one of these locations. He'll attack, the trench armor will cancel it. Then the enemy phase, since he's engaged with me, he'll attack again. That one I will eat. I'll take a damage and a horror. I can cancel the horror with Flesh Ward. I can put the damage on trench armor or on Flesh Ward. And then I can use Gavriella's ability to get a clue. That is meaningful. Honestly, that is meaningful. Like to get the clues, which I do need to advance. He's an enemy. Because I can get one clue this round, and then I can use Gavriella's ability next round to get another clue. Okay. Yes. I think that is the play. We're going to engage Brown Jenkins, and then we're going to move. He will attack of opportunity. Trench armor cancels it. Let's try this location. What do we got? 2 shroud, 2 clues. The circle test is brain plus fist. Okay. If I can draw steadfast, that'll take care of that. To a lighter unlight the brazier. Haunted effect spawns a whippoorwill. That's not bad. And victory 1. Okay. All right. Enemies. Brown Jenkins attacks. Damage and a horror. I will use Flesh Ward to cancel the horror. I will take a damage. Which again, I will put on trench armor. That's fine. And I'll use Gavriella's ability to get a clue. Okay. Because he attacked, that exhausts him. So when the enemy phase ends, he's not ready, so I don't wheel my hand. Upkeep. Don't you love it when you call your shot? That's pretty funny. All right. Mythos, we're at 6 of 8 Doom. Encounter card is Fate of All Fools. So, I absolutely don't want to put a Doom on it. This is the absolute worst time to do that, since we'll advance early. So I'm taking 2 direct damage. Except, do I've had worse it. The reason not to is to save I've had worse for a hit of horror. But I've also got soothing melodies. And eventually I'm going to draw some allies. What is this test? 11. Steadfast will commit for +6 to that test. So I'd be testing just with Steadfast 13 against 11. And I could throw in Act of Desperation and or Machete to finish the job. Yeah, I have play it while I have it. I will cancel the 2 direct damage with I've had worse, get another 2 resources. Fine. Okay, now we're going to attempt the circle test. Brown Jenkins attacks. Trench Armor cancels it. I use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. So I'm testing 7 against 11 with Steadfast, 3 Brain, 3 Fist, because there's no damage or horror on Gavriella. That's 13 against 11. I'll throw in the Machete. 14 against 11. Do I also throw in the Act of Desperation? Brown Jenkins' fight is 3. No, I'm thinking, actually, maybe I'll keep the Machete and maybe just commit the Machete to an Enchanted Blade attack to defeat Brown Jenkins. So he's not pounding me all round. And throw the Act of Desperation into this test. So that I'm testing, so I'm 4 up. Yeah, I think I'm more comfortable with that. 7 plus 6 is 13, plus 2 is 15. So I'm 4 up on the test. We'll do it that way. -1. Didn't need it, but the most important thing is we have unlit this brazier. Okay. Good. Now, I could advance the act. That will pull out a 3rd unvisited isle, and I'll move to it. Then I can't move out of it until I spend another 2 clues. I think maybe instead I move to this next location, work on the clues there. But if I don't do anything about Brown Jenkins, he is going to hit me 1, 2, 3 more times, which is a lot. So now we fight this guy. We stab with the Enchanted Blade. I'll commit this Machete. 4, 5, 6 against 3. This one's a pass. Bye, Brown Jenkins. See you again some other time. And then we move. Another 2 Shroud, 2 clues. The circle test here is book plus foot. Well, this I am less good at. This needs trial by fire. Haunted effect. You must either discard an asset you control or take a damage. And damage is not too bad. Again, a victory point. Okay, fine. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into. If I put all 3 of these next to the agenda, do I heal 3 horror? Oh man, that's hilarious. Not what I wanted either. But that's. They both have a book and a foot. I could commit all 3 of them to the circle test, and I would be testing 10 against 9. It's not nothing. But I don't want to do this circle test until after I've advanced, because once you've advanced, then you can start spending clues to make the tests easier. And this one, I would certainly like to make easier. So, we're in Mythos. 7 of 8 Doom. What's our encountered card? Is this actually... Hang on. Look at these two cards. Am I crazy? This is basically the evil version of this. Is it the same artist? No, it's not. Man, that would have been cool if it was. All right, whatever. Just willpower 4. If you fail, put it next to the agenda deck. If you fail by 3 or more, this gains surge. So 3 on 4. I don't think with one of them it's worth my committing to try to over succeed here. So we are 1 down. Nothing we did would have made any difference. So this goes next to the agenda deck, and then it surges. And it surges into... Okay. We're testing 3 against 4. We have failed by 3. So this goes next to the agenda deck, and it surges into... Oh man, it has the same color scheme. My brain was ready for the third one. All right, I'm scaring fog. So this is now Shroud 4. That actually is maybe meaningful. I was vaguely thinking about possibly investigating here, but now I won't. No. What am I going to do? I need more cards. I could spend the clues. That way I'll reveal another location. The last location. I don't mind moving away from here. Like I said, I do have Greta Wagner in the deck. If I can get her in play, then she can help pick up clues from this location even while I'm not near it. And as I discussed before, I do want to come back here anyway, because I don't want to try to pass this test until I can throw clues at it. So yeah, let's spend our clues and advance the act. All right, we randomly choose one more set-aside unvisited isle location, put it into play, move there. I will not be able to leave there until I advance again, and its brazier will be lit. The story cards are all... None of them are in play, because we're not dealing with the prologue investigators in their original incarnation, so I don't have to deal with that. Okay. What is our third and final location here? It is... We move there automatically. 3 shroud, 2 clues. Circle test is book plus brain. Haunted until the end of the round. Increase the difficulty of each skill test during a circle action by 2. I mean, that's pretty... That's... As haunted effects go, there's much worse. Okay, fine. Sounds good. All right. Second act. Need 2 clues to advance. I cannot leave this location. So I need these 2 clues. It's fine. We're going to draw some cards and hopefully get an ally. And what do you know? We've got Alice Luxley. Perfect. And our book is now up by 1. We missed you. We found you. We didn't find the story characters. We found Alice Luxley wandering in the woods. Sounds good. Do I throw a cheeky 4 on 3 at this? Do I commit a soothing melody? Or do I draw another card? 4 and 3, not great. I really would want to commit something more. And I could commit both soothing melodies. No, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to draw another card. We've got more things that I want. The Mauser, Greta Wagner, a guard dog would be good. Yeah, I'm going to draw another card. Trial by fire, also good. Now, like I said before, the timing on trial by fire, I want these clues first. And then I could trial by fire, do this circle test, first action. Once these clues are gone and spent, then I can leave this location. Second action, move. Third action, use it. Okay. Now, there is a spooky thing here, and that is the Spectral Watcher is going to show up, and I don't have my big gun yet. That's going to make things interesting, but I don't mind having this. All right, that's the end of the round. We upkeep. There are no enemies. I take heart. Okay, good. 8 doom. This advances. All right, the encounter discard pile shuffles into the encounter deck. Oh, this doesn't... Oh, I forgot. The Spectral Watcher doesn't show up with the agenda flip. It shows up when I advance the act again. I forgot about that. I mean, that's fine. I'm not as ready for it as I would like to be. So no one was taken by the Watcher, so nothing in the bottom half of this card is relevant. Spectral Watcher can't get powered up. Yeah, so we just move on. Second and last agenda, we have 10 turns. I'm not on the pace I would love to be at, but we're getting there. All right, let's see how we do. What is our encounter card? Psychopomp Song. When you would take 1 or more damage, take 2 additional and then discard it. Okay. And that surges into... Oh! I'm like, I just defeated you. I forgot. We just shuffled the discard pile into the encounter deck, so my buddy is back. He is aloof. That's pretty funny. All right. Well. So now with Alice Luxley, Brown Jenkins can self-destruct. If I engage him and then do a thing, I can discover a clue, thanks to the attack of opportunity, and then I could use Alice Luxley to defeat him. I am, though, kind of thinking not defeat him this round, but engage him as my last action of this round. Let him attack in the enemy phase. Get a clue, but don't use Alice to kill him. Next round, start doing something else. Cancel his attack, get the clue, use Alice to kill him. And then I've leveraged him to get both of these clues, and then I can advance. Yeah, I think that's the play. So that means I should do 2 other things. I could investigate and commit take heart. I think that's the play. Because I'm not going to do a circle test this round. I want to do them next round. So I don't care about the haunted effect. If I investigate and take heart draws me some things, or if I, summon the +1, as take heart is wont to do, and I get the clue, that's not the worst thing either. Then I could just engage Brown Jenkins and do a thing to kill him, and then I'd be ready to advance next round. I don't want to advance this round even if I get both clues. Yes. All right. So we're going to investigate, and we're going to commit take heart. With Alice and with the High Priestess, we're testing 4 against 3. Well, it's not the +1, but we did summon the token that will let us pass. Fine. I genuinely don't mind that. We get a clue. So now we engage Brown Jenkins. And now I think I draw a card. I draw a card. So Brown Jenkins attacks. Trench Armor cancels it. Gavriella's ability gets this clue. Alice Luxley defeats Brown Jenkins. Yep. Sounds good. And then I get that card. Greta Wagner. Okay. Fine. Good. That was the investigation phase. All right. No enemies on the board. We upkeep into second trial by fire. All right. Good. Good. So I have what I need for the circle test. What I don't yet have is the means to defeat the Spectral Watcher once that time comes. That is in here. Called the Mauser Tenkabear. Or even, frankly, at this point, even if I found my other enchanted blade, like 2 smacks of that and some Alice work, that could do in a pinch. All right. Okay. Fine. Right, we upkept Mythos. We're at 1 of 10 Doom. What's our encounter card? Fine! My buddy is back. Another damage. I might as well again put it on the trench armor, right? With the star. I don't think there's anything. No, actually. I'm going to put it on the Flesh Ward, which with the star has 2 and 2. And I'm doing that because, just in case I get nailed with asset hate, I think Crypt Chill is in this scenario. There might be a world in which the asset to get rid of is the star. And I don't want that to then cavalcade into getting rid of the trench armor. I would certainly get rid of a Flesh Ward first, right? No worries there. Right. Okay. Good. Fine. Okay. Now, I was thinking, before Brown Jenkins showed back up, of playing Trial by Fire, Circle Test, Advance, Move, Circle Test. The problem with that plan is that then Brown Jenkins will follow me and he will wield my hand. And I will lose both Greta Wagner and the other Trial by Fire, and I don't want that to be the case. So, what I do want to do, as part of this turn, is engage Brown Jenkins and then move. Then, in the enemy phase, he'll attack, and I'll cancel the attack of opportunity with Trench Armor. Then the enemy phase, he'll attack again. I will take that on the chin. Oh, wait a minute. Psychopomp Song triggered from this. So I have to take 2 additional damage. I almost forgot. So that we will spread the love on. I'm pretty sure that is Centuries of Secrets in this scenario. Can't remember. I know for a fact that some is in there are things. All right, whatever. I'm babbling a bit. I take 2 more damage. This time I will put 1 on the trench armor, and I will put 1 on Alice. With the star, she's got 3 and 3. That's fine. Psychopomp Song goes away. Almost forgot that. Okay. Where was I? What I want to do is 1 action of something, engage Brown Jenkins and move. Then, in the enemy phase, he'll attack. I'll take the damage. I'll cancel the horror. I'll use Gavriella to get a clue. I'll use Alice to defeat him. That's right. So the other thing... If the other thing I do is play Greta Wagner, then I can get both clues. But then I would have to come back to the location I'm leaving to do its circle test. If instead I play one trial by fire, crank my... what would be best? Right now I have +2 to book thanks to the High Priestess. So I could get up to 5 and 7, be testing 12. Or I could bring my base book up to 7. I'm testing 3 and 9, which is 12. 6 1/2 dozen the other. I might as well do the 5s across the board. And book and brain and commit a soothing melody. Do the circle test. Engage, move. I won't be able to get both clues, but next turn I can do a thing, trigger an attack of opportunity, cancel it with the armor, and get the other clue that way. So yes, I don't need to play Greta Wagner yet. What I do need to do is, nope, spend 2 to play Trial by Fire. I will set the base value of all my skills to 5. So this turn I'm at 5, 5, 5. +1 from Alice and from the tarot. Now we're going to do the circle test. So base 12 against 10. I'll commit a soothing melody to be 14 against 10. That feels good. -1, we pass. This brazier. Oh, I never put it on there. This brazier is unlit. Bye. Good. Now I engage Brown Jenkin. And now I move. I will use Trench Armor. Well, you have to use Trench Armor to cancel the attack. Oh, actually, before I move, I spend the 2 clues to advance the act, which is meaningful because this will summon the Spectral Watcher. Can't be helped. Spawns at the river. Fine. What else happens? We shuffle Watcher's Grasp and Watcher's Gaze into the encounter deck along with the encounter discard pile. Watcher's Gaze, yeah, Watcher's Gaze, the Watcher's Grasp cards. And what else? Now I can leave that location, which is why I had to do that. And then the Geist Trap comes into play and the brazier on it is lit. Last brazier. Good. Can't enter there yet. Okay. Now the act. Now I can spend a clue to reduce the difficulty of a circle test by 2. Of course, need these clues first, but, you know, that's what we're going to do. And then, once I've unlit all the braziers, 1 left, this one here, then we can advance. And that will enable us to go into the Geist Trap. Indeed, I think it's going to move us automatically into the Geist Trap. Now I move. Now the Trench Armor triggers to cancel the attack of opportunity. We are back here at the Haunted Spring. Okay. Enemy attacks. Brown Jenkin does a damage and a horror. We will use Flesh Ward to cancel the horror. We'll take a damage. Which now I'll finally start putting on Gavriella directly. That's fine. I'll use Gavriella's ability to get one of these clues. I'm not using Alice, because I want to use Alice to defeat Brown Jenkin next round, after he gets me the second clue here. Fine. Good. All's well and good. Okay. We upkeep into a dodge. Fine. Mythos, we're at 2 of 10 Doom. Oh, Spectral Watcher moves. Moves to the Forbidding Shore. Forbidding Shore, which is connected to all of the unvisited isles, so it will be on me after this round. Unless I clear this brazier this round, In which case I can advance and get myself over to the Geist Trap, and then it is still 2 locations away from me. The Geist Trap is not connected to the Forbidding Shore. Okay. Encounter card. Brown Jenkins just bites me again for another damage. Fine. Okay. And my stats are back down, although I might be about to crank them back up again. So, if I play second trial by fire, first action, do this circle test. Brown Jenkins will attack. I'll cancel it. I'll get the clue. I'll use Alice to defeat him. Circle test. If I put all my stats up to 5s, I'll be testing 12 against 9. I could spend 1 clue to make it 12 against 7. Then I will be in the Geist Trap, and I'll be able to, still pumped by trial by fire, do that test too. Right? That's the play. That is 100% the play. Man, trial by fire level 3. I don't think I've ever played this card, but boy, is it working for this campaign. It's almost like it was released with Return to the Circle Undone or something. All right. So once again, base value of all my skills is 5. Okay. Now we're going to do the circle test. Brown Jenkins attacks. Trench Armor cancels it. Gavriella gets me a clue. Alice Luxley does a damage back. Brown Jenkins is defeated. We are testing 12 against 9. I will spend 1 clue. Make it 12 against 7. Right? That's what this does. Spend a clue, reduce the difficulty by 2. So I'm 5 up. That hurts. That hurts a lot. Look, auto fails are going to happen. I no longer have the +1, because that was my first book test around. But all is not lost. I'm pretty sure. We're about to find out. But I'm pretty sure when I advance this, I will be automatically moved into the Geist Trap. So I have a second try here. Have another clue. I can make it 11 against 7. And then for this circle test in the Geist Trap, I think I will have one more action where I can slam my 21 against its 20. I won't have a clue to spend, but I could commit a Soothing Melody to again be 4 up. So that is the hope and pray that I am remembering correctly how this works. Circle test again. 11 against 9. Spend this clue, 11 against 7. -3. Brazier is unlit. Now this advances. I was right. Reveal the Geist Trap. Move each investigator at an unvisited isle location to it. Don't mind if I yes. Shuffle the Silver Twilight Lodge encounter set into the encounter deck along with the encounter discard pile. Can we top deck Brown Jenkins again? That would be pretty cool. If Joseph is alive and well, he would spawn here as an enemy. Joseph is not alive and well. He disappeared into the mist on the receiving end of a Mauser tank of air. So, Silver Twilight. Right? It's also with the encounter discard pile. Yes. Yes. Last act. During a circle action, I can still spend a clue to reduce difficulty by 2. If the Spectral Watcher is defeated at the Geist Trap while the Brazier there is unlit, advance. That is the plan. And now, Geist Trap. 4 Shroud, 1 clue, victory 1. Haunted, take damage in a horror. The circle test is all 4 skills, difficulty 20. Let's try it. We're at 21 against 20. I will throw one soothing melody into this to make it 24 against 20. And we pass exactly. The braziers are all unlit. Feels good. Okay. Look, after, what was it? 6 or 7 rounds of doing mostly nothing. Look at all the progress we accomplished in like 3 rounds. That is how solo play works sometimes, when you've got to assemble your board state and then just charge forward with reckless abandon. Speaking of charging forward with reckless abandon, the Spectral Watcher moves. I don't think it really matters where it goes. Let's just creep it up the center of the board, Dunwich, climbing the peak style. I don't think it has good overalls, though. And then we upkeep. What are we upkeeping into? An act of desperation. Are we going to defeat the Spectral Watcher by yeeting my empty enchanted blade into its face? It's a strong possibility. All right, Mythos. We are at 3 of 10 Doom. What's our encounter card? Death approaches. I don't like that. Surge, when I would take horror, I take 2 extra. Not good. This is why I've been canceling horror with every chance I get. Surge is into Watcher's Gaze. I forget what this does. Well, we're about to find out. Test Brain 5. Everyone who fails must resolve either the haunted ability on their location or the haunted ability on the Spectral Watcher's location. Oh, I was brilliant. The haunted ability here is circle tests are made 2 more difficult. Guess what I don't need to do anymore? Circle tests. Man, if only I had to take heart to throw into this to add injury to insult. All right. Oh, well, we no longer have this amazing stat line. We're back down to this. 3 on 5. -2, we fail. Oh, darn it. Circle tests have +2 difficulty until the end of the round. Somehow I will survive. Pretty funny. I think it's just brace for impact, right? Once a Spectral Watcher moves in, he'll do, well, she, I should say, will do a damage and a horror. I can cancel the horror with Flesh Ward. I don't know off the top of my head. I think, and check me if I've got this wrong in the comments, but I think I can't use Flesh Ward to block this 1 horror and then not have Death Approaches fire. I think Death Approaches will make this essentially 1 damage and 3 horror, and then I can use Flesh Ward to block 1 of the horror. Cancel 1 of the horror, I should say. I do know what I could do is play Dodge when it enters to cancel the attack entirely, and then Death Approaches doesn't trigger. And I might do that. I might do that. All right. What have I got? Honestly, the exact... All right. I am going to play... I was about to say, I'll play Greta Wagner, and then I'll like draw a card, and then either play it or draw another card. What I'm a little concerned about is drawing Haunted, my weakness, basic weakness. At this point, I've got equal odds for any card draw to be either Haunted or like the Mauser Tinkerbear. If I play Greta and then just like take 2 resources, it'll move in. I can use Dodge. I can get the clue. I can use Alice to do a damage back to it, and then it will have 4 health left. With Greta in play, I can stab with the depowered Enchanted Blade to swing 6 against 3. I mean, I could potentially just stab it twice next turn to do 2 more damage, and then Act of Desperation, the sword into its face for the finishing blow, and we're done. So I may not need to draw more cards. Because I don't want Haunted. Alternately, I could draw one card. If it's Haunted, I could spend 2 actions to get rid of it. But then I'm dealing with the Watcher without Greta in play. And I really want my base attack to be up to 6. So I think that's the play. We're going to spend 5. Put Greta Wagner into play. I have now Fist 5 and Book 5. Book 4 technically, but 5 for the first test. And then I'm going to take 2 resources. I think I have what I need. Spectral Watcher moves in and attacks. I will play dodge, cancel the attack. I use Gavriella's ability to get this clue. So another, that's a clean sweep of all 5 victory points available in a solo playthrough. I use Alice to deal a damage. And then let's see if we can beat it the slow way next round. We upkeep into a guard dog. Okay. So I could have drawn honestly, that might be the play to finish him off, which is fine too. Mythos, we are at 4 of 10 Doom. What's our encounter card? A Shadow Hound. This just makes it all the more important that I just defeat this guy. So this does a damage, and the Haunted ability here is a damage and a horror. So I don't... This guy essentially does 2 damage and a horror. How am I going to finish things here? I could do what I said. I could take 2 tests to stab and then act of desperation. The issue is that at the Geist Trap, the Watcher has retaliate. So I probably really do want Guard Dog in play first. I could play Guard Dog. I could use Trench Armor to cancel the Shadow Hound's attack. They'll take a damage and a horror from the Spectral Watcher. That is what it is. Then I could attack with the blade. And then I could act the Desperation the blade. And then in the enemy phase, it can be defeated by the Guard Dog's counterattack. That way I'm doing 2 tests instead, and I'm not brutally wrecked. Quite so brutally wrecked if something goes south. So yeah, we will play Guard Dog. Trench Armor will cancel the Shadow Hound's attack. I will take a damage and a horror from the Spectral Watcher. I will use Flesh Ward to cancel the horror. I will put a damage on Greta Wagner. And then I spend 3 to put Guard Dog in play. Now I stab. Enchanted Blade. I'm testing 6 against 3. Pass exactly, so that does a damage. Oh, Death Approaches means I take 2 additional horror. No. Yes, this is what I was talking about before. Essentially, the Spectral Watcher's attack was 1 damage and 3 horror because of Death Approaches. I use a Flesh Ward to cancel 1 of it, but I still have to take 2 more horror, which we can put 1 on Alice, and we can put 1 on the Flesh Ward itself. That's fine. And then that goes away. Right. And now, last action, I am going to play Act of Desperation, and I'm going to yeet this Enchanted Blade into its face. So we get plus X. X is its cost. So we're testing 8 against 3, and if we succeed, we'll do 2 damage and get 3 resources. -1 is a pass. We do 2 damage. We get 3 resources. And then the enemy phase, I'll do the Spectral Watcher's attack first. Does a damage and a horror. We'll put both on Guard Dog. Guard Dog does a damage back. The Spectral Watcher is defeated. And as a result, we advance. Obviously, I still had soak for days. Like, even with another attack from the Shadow Hound, doing 2 damage in a horror, Greta could soak all of that by herself without breaking a sweat. We did it! Union. As the blue flame of the brazier is snuffed out, the energy around the circle disperses. The shadow wreath around the Watcher's form is released, and the creature's true form surrounds the central pillar, Resolution 4. That was fun. And we didn't even need the Mauser. Like, the Mauser, I'm curious, where was it? Last card? Haunted was the last card. Mauser was next. So I could have just drawn last time, but look, what I did worked. I'm perfectly happy with the results. I think this was the first scenario that I've done where the Mauser didn't make an appearance. But you know what? We did fine without it. I was fortunate to have Brown Jenkins show up as many times as I did. He is kind of tailor-made for what Gavriella wants to do. Okay. Good. Right. What are we doing? Resolution 4. See what that entails. A lot of text. I apologize in advance. I'm not reading all of this. Annette approaches. We recognize the Revenant's shell. Sister. Carl Sanford yells, the spirit's no mere witch. And then Keziah possesses Annette. That's a problem. The lodge is like, what are we going to do? Sanford's like, we got to get out of here. And we run. Annette Mason is possessed by evil. Resolution 8. Oop. Okay. Resolution 8. All right. We don't have the puzzle box card. And I'm glad that we elected to defeat the Guardian last scenario and get 2 extra experience. Because thanks to Trial by Fire and honestly a very timely Steadfast pull, I almost didn't put Steadfast on my deck. That was the 30th card I put in the original level 0 deck. But man, it has come in surprisingly in clutch. All right. Missing persons. None of this matters because everyone's crossed out. And we get 5 experience because that's what we've got, right? 5. Okay. And then we move on to... Don't they usually say in the resolutions, proceed to scenario such and such? We do there, but that's saying to skip the interlude. Maybe it's only when you have an interlude. Next time, in the Clutches of Chaos. Well, next time will be the final double feature of that, plus Before the Black Throne. In the Clutches of Chaos is probably... I will probably have the toughest time with. Since the clue mechanics work so differently there. Since we're playing Pandemic, and because I'm going to have an extra random basic weakness. So I've got the tower inverted. But then for Before the Black Throne, I'll have the star upright, which will increase the power of Gavriella's Elder Sign, which might come in clutch. We will see. All right. Well, that's it from me. I hope everyone watching has enjoyed. I know I'm coming in very late to finish this off, but hey, if I can finish off the rest of this campaign this week, then maybe I'm not so behind after all. Until next time, take it easy, everyone.